revolution in rice and other crops have bought us time in which our global house in order, to find the means and political will to distribute the growing wealth of our world more equitably to those who still do not have the basic necessities of life before their numbers outstrip the ability to feed them. Before concluding, I should thank the donors of Erie for their support and concern for the welfare of our people and the peoples of other developing countries of the world. I should also like to appeal for their continued and increased support. We are proud that the Philippines is the home of Erie and grateful that the honor for its achievements has in some small measure reflected on us who have hosted its efforts even as we have enjoyed its benefits.
Consider this. In just 4 years, starting from a base of zero growth, we are today being hailed as the new Asian Tiger Cub and the hottest emerging market in the region. In just 4 years, we are today regarded as living proof that democracy is not incompatible with development, that indeed democratic institutions can foster fertile conditions for progress which authoritarian systems can never match.
Sana sila naman ay makabahagi. Progress must not be measured by the number of golf courses of the rich. Huwag naman sanang mamasamain ng ilan sa ating mga mayayaman ang mensaheng ito. Mulat sa poll, sila ang nakikinabang at hanggang sa ngayon ay nakikinabang pa rin. Sapagkat gagawin natin ang lahat upang maibalik ang katahimikan sa ating bayan. Ang katahimikan na kailangan upang umunlad ang ating kalakalan. Kaya sa ating mga maliliit at mahihirap, narito ang pangako ni Erap. Kayo ang unang makikibahagi sa biyaya mula sa ekonomiya at mula sa pamahalaan. Sa abot ng aking makakaya, bibigyan natin ang masa ng disenteng tahanan, sapat na pagkain at pag-asa sa hinaharap.
Optimism is infectious and opportunity irresistible. Progress follows progress. Someone, even government, just has to get it started. It's unbeatable. Proof is biochemist. We fight terrorism. It threatens our sovereign, democratic, compassionate, and decent way of life. Therefore, in the fight against lawless violence, we must uphold these values. It is never right and always wrong to fight terror with terror. And so I ask Congress, I urge you to enact laws to transform state response to political violence. We were able to strengthen our economy because of the fiscal reforms that we adopted at such great cost to me in public disapproval. But I would rather be right than popular.
Mga minamahal kong kababayan, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Dito po makakaaminan, noong pong kabataan ko, wala pang ANC, wala pang CNN, at aaminin ko po, sa totoo lang, wala pang cable TV. Kung kailangan mo ng instant news, halimbawa kapag may bagyo, nawala ng kuryente, ang tutok namin noong mga panahon na yon, Radyo Patrol. Sa pag-usad ng panahon, mas naging moderno ang pagbabalita, ang tinig na rumoronda sa himpapawid na dadagdagan ng biswal na elemento. At narito na po tayo ngayon. Ipinagdiriwang ang silver anniversary ng isa sa pinakamatibay na institusyon sa pagbabalita, ang TV Patrol. Sa loob ng 25 taon, kinilala ang TV Patrol sa tapang at sigasig ng paghatid ng impormasyon sa mamamayang Pilipino. Sa tuwing may sakuna, naroon kayo upang magbigay ng kaalaman kung paano umiwas sa peligro at disgrasya. Sa tuwing may agam-agam ang publiko ukol sa isyu, kayo ang takbuhan para sa tapat na pag-uulat. Kaya naman sa lahat ng bubuo ng inyong programa mula noon hanggang ngayon, sa harap man o sa likod ng kamera, talaga naman pong isang mainit na pagbati sa inyong ika-25 anibersaryo. Kapag katotohanan ang pinag-uusapan, lagi ko naalala ang isang sikat na police drama noong ako po'y bata pa. Dragnet ang pangalan po ng programa. At sa pagkalap ng kaalaman, ang bukang bibig ng isang bida, and I quote, "Just the facts, man." Close quote. Hayaan po ninyo akong ilatag ang ilang facts na inihayag natin sa SONA noong Lunes. 5.2 million sa pinakamahirap na kabahayang Pilipino ang buong buo at walang bayad ng makikinabang sa benepisyo ng PhilHealth. Hack po ito. Bago matapos ang susunod na taon, ubos na ang minana nating 66,800 na kakulangan sa silid-aralan. Fact na naman po ito. Tinitiyak na po ang kalidad ng higit sa 70,000 mga baril na ipagkakaloob sa natitirang 4 na
yung tubig galing itaas, marami pang kahoy na pwedeng maging barricade ng malakas na tubig. So by the time they go down to the lowlands, disperse na sila. At sa maraming kahoy, hindi ka agad bumibilo yan ng tumatakbong 20 miles per hour. Ngayon ang ating mundo nagbago na kung gusto man natin at hindi. Dahil kung saan naman marami rin tayong Pilipino, ipinagbawal na natin yung pagputol ng kahoy. But just like in Mindanao, tinatanong ako nila, Mayor, mahirap lang kami. Kami ba hindi pumuputol ng kahoy para lang sa pamamahay namin? Just to build the house. And because there are already millions of Filipinos who are really poor and who cannot afford to buy materials, they continue to cut trees on the mountains. At wala naman akong magawa. Kaya lang naman Pilipino sila at saan sila makukuha ng kahoy. But we were trying to mitigate everything. As a matter of fact, we banned totally ng pagputol ng kahoy for, number one, talagang sunset industry na yan. Wala ka na masyado mapigkataan ng kahoy at hinahabol talaga ng gobyerno yung komersyal, yung dumadaan sa checkpoints. Yun yung hinuhuli. At yun namang sa taas, sa karami natin gustong mamumuhay, they want to be farmers, and they also want to claim a land in the mountains, in the hinterlands. Hindi rin natin mapipigilan. Pilipino. So, it has come to a point that we are now 104 million, and the country is not that big, and we have a problems in our midst. Ang pangalawa niyan, yung climate change. Yung sinabi sa atin na nagbabago ang panahon at yung pong mga hangin galing Pacific Ocean, lumalakas ng lumalakas. Ang problema dyan, ganito. Tayo is the first island facing the Pacific Ocean. At kung may kulo ng tubig dyan sa lamig at init, starts to boil. Pagka ang hangin papuntang east of the Pacific Ocean, in the middle, papuntang east to, ang dumadaan talaga sa Pilipinas, papunta either China or Japan. But we are the first window ng Pacific. So kung anong pinaka-damage na malaki, mauna talaga yung atin. Just like Yolanda, just like Lawin. Ngayon, sabi nila, yung mga factory na bumubuga ng usok, which are really carbon o yan, mga fossil fuel, ang gumagamit niyan ng malakas, hindi tayo. When the Industrial Revolution began in the 1901, 1902, at na-discover lang use ng oil, it was America and the European nations and China after the war. Sila yung pinakamalakas gumamit ng makinarya na bumubuga ng usok.
Thank you very much, President Reagan. Mrs. Reagan, members of the Cabinet, distinguished guests, my friends. On behalf of the 50 million people of the Philippines, Mrs. Marcos and I express our gratitude for your warm welcome to Washington and to the United States of America. This great and beautiful city, that is one of the few cities that was built as the capital for a great nation, is indeed, as has been written, the key to knowing the secret of America. And this house of the American people, an American frontier that never vanishes. Your beautiful city with its grand memorials, its monuments, its walks, is indeed a city that memorializes the great achievements of your people for the past 2 centuries. But more than that, it keeps offering to the enterprising and the talented, the courageous and the strong, the rewards of effort and of initiative. At the same time, as I stand here on American soil, I realize that I stand on what may be the center of the government of the United States of America, here where, as I have often stated, the future is being born. The future is being born depending upon the man who is in the White House. And the man who is in the White House today certainly is creating a new future for our world. For Mr. President, I come from that part of the world wherein the poorest of the world's population live. I come from that part of the world that cherishes an image of America with its ideals, its dreams, its illusions. I come from the Philippines, a part of Asia, which has been molded along the principles of American democracy. We learn to love these ideals and principles, and we lost 1 million of our people fighting for them in the last war. We have always stood by these ideals. We shall continue to do so, whatever may be the cost, at the risk of our fortunes, our lives, but more important of all, our honor. We stand for the ideals of democracy that is our legacy from the United States of America. I did not come to burden you further with additional problems, Mr. President. For I know that, as I have said in many a speech before my own people and before the world, fate and destiny has decreed that the United States of America be the trustee of modern civilization against the threat of a possible second dark ages. And America cannot fail. And therefore, we, the Filipino people, come and bring to you a prayer that God and His divine providence may grant you guidance, strengthen both your heart and hand, so that that hand may be strong on the lever of power and save our humanity. If America fails, then the world is lost. And thus, Mr. President, I can assure you that throughout all of Asia, there is nothing but a reservoir of goodwill for you, the American people, and the United States of America. Once again, may I say thank you for your warm welcome and your hospitality, which I know we will never be able to reciprocate. Thank you.